Okay, for those of you who are good cooks, it might be not so much of interest, but I usually like to have a recipe at hand which I can easily follow and can't forget because I can just look it up. So here's my recipe for beam modeling. So first you start to design the geometry, whatever this may be. We've seen this bridge-like example. You can think of whatever other type you want to model. Like usually in construction it's used a lot. Then choose a beam cross-section. You can choose between solids, thin-walled, open-closed, regular or meshed. So solids and thin-walled, we talked about this for example, circular shape or a hollow with a relatively thin wall. At this part, open-closed. Closed would be these two. Closed. And open, I gave you the example before, where you can include warping. Regular or meshed is quite an interesting aspect. So if you want to have detailed information on your cross-section, so for example, if you model a cross-section on your own, you can also do this. Then Abaqus needs to run, let's say, a simulation before the actual beam simulation in order to get some information on the cross-section. So in this case, this cross-section might be meshed, and then Abaqus does a pre-simulation before the simulation to get like stiffness values and so on. Choose an appropriate beam type element. We talked about this a lot now, so Timoshenko, Euler-Bernoulli, hybrid pipes and so on. So think about your problem and then go for it. Assign the beam cross-section orientation. We'll talk about this a little bit in the example which comes right after the recipe. And determine whether or not numerical integration is needed throughout the analysis. Okay, yeah, sounds complicated. It is usually not so important if you have simple material responses to do this throughout the analysis. So you do the integration of your beam cross-section once before you start the actual simulation and not in every step anew. And then you define the further beam section behavior. So these, I would say, are the special things to consider when doing a beam simulation. The rest we talked about in the first tutorial. Okay, why is this huge mark appearing? It's here to remember or to remind you that beams are a very exotic class of elements. So you really need to think about whether or not your problem that you want to analyze using finite element method is really suited for the application of beams. So I gave you this example about hydroforming, where you could say, yeah, this pipes, for example, seems well suited for the problem, but is it really what I'm interested in? Can I use the advantage, or is it of any advantage to use beam elements in this type of problem? So think about distance between supports, slenderness ratios, the boundary conditions you want to apply. It's not always the case that you can apply every type of boundary conditions to such a special class of elements. So it's here to remind you that you can improve especially the speed and sometimes even the accuracy of your results significantly when you use beams. However, your problem, so to say, has to be well suited to be modeled with or by beams. So always think about this first.